before I begin, let me just state these are just my opinions, and it's cool if you think differently. No hate. But since everybody else is sharing their opinions on Wicked, here are mine. I know, I know everybody's praising it, but I don't like it personally. I have a few major issues with it that's kind of like preventing me from fully embracing it. First of all, the colors extremely muted, and it's just such a huge disappointment because when I think of Wizard of Oz and when I think of Wicked, I think vibrant colors. And I don't know why, but once again, Hollywood continues to make things so much duller than it needs to be. Glinda's dress should be poppin'. That pink should be poppin'. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, all those colors just, in your face. No. But they're so dull and boring. Number 2, when I watch a movie, even if it's a movie adaptation of a musical, I want immersion. I want to be immersed in the story. And part of being immersed is the casting. And when they cast the main characters, that is, they weren't considering immersion. They weren't considering, would these people fit this scenario? They were basically doing made-for-TV musical or even just Broadway casting. They were picking big-name stars, or they're picking people that they felt vocally could, do the role, but they weren't thinking looks-wise. And no, I'm not talking about Elphaba's actor being black, because, she's green. Her real skin color really doesn't matter. I'm talking about the fact that most of these people that are supposed to be freshmen in college all are very clearly in their early 30s or even more than that. Like, I don't believe these people are newly graduated from high school and just newly out in the world. I don't. The way they sing is great, but looks, I can't, and it's really distracting when you have a ton of background people dancing that clearly look like they're young enough to be, newly graduated from high school or whatever. Like, the ages look right. But then next to them, the main leads, I don't believe they've been in high school for a very long time. And honestly, all that aside, I don't think that Glinda and Elphaba's actors, it's really hard for them to measure up to the OG Broadway singers. It really is, and I get that. But I didn't find their singing to be as up to par as I hoped. It was passable, it worked. Don't get me wrong, like, I wouldn't mind listening to the soundtrack, but it just wasn't as good. You know what I mean? Like, the singing wasn't as much of a deal breaker compared to, like, the age. Like, had these people been cast 10 years prior, I would have been more welcoming, I feel like. I don't know. And lastly, mind you, this is just me being petty, but I have for a very long time now had a one-sided beef with one of the people behind this movie, and that is John Chu, who I cannot support anything he does. Ever since he ruined Jem and the Holograms, like, I don't like what he does to things. I just don't. And is he the reason everything is so damn dull? I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I really don't like John Chu. Like, we will never meet, and I know I have no impact on his life. But he sure impacted mine! And Jem and the Holograms was very near and dear to me, and he butchered it, and then resurrected it, and then butchered it again. But yeah. Will I watch Wicked Part 1? Eventually. I just don't want to pay to go see it in theaters. I've seen a lot of it already online because stuff just leaks. But from what I've seen, which is honestly like way too much of the movie, like, wow. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. But it is passable. I would say it's passable for a movie adaptation of a musical. It's passable. I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10. But like, I don't believe it's the best.